much. We have just finished the debate. I'm the representative of permanent representative of Afghanistan. I think it was one of the insightful and informed debate of the Security Council on Afghanistan in a situation where we face new challenges and difficulties. The members of the Security Council discussed the report of the Secretary General, and Kai Aide, the special representative of the Secretary General, had a very comprehensive report about the progress made in the last 6 months since he assumed his work. There was a consensus and shared understanding how to deal with the deteriorating security situation in some parts of the country, how to support the government of Afghanistan in its endeavor to make progress, and also how to work together to address the challenges we face. So from our point of view, that was a debate that was timely, helpful, and I hope that will help us to take more steps and overcoming the difficulties in the country. Thanks.
Ambassador, talking about the recent shuffle in the cabinet and everything else, one of the reasons the international community is saying that the brother of President Karzai was involved in drug trafficking and so forth, and there was one minister who was involved, who was openly being fingered that he was also corrupt. In the reshuffling, nothing has happened except they have just changed the portfolios. How are you going to change anything? If that's all we could do, reshuffle people.
Thank you. In today's debate, most of the members of the Security Council and participants of the debate on Afghanistan, they supported the new step towards a reshuffle of the cabinet. The appointment of the new interior minister was seen by many members as an important step in the fight against corruption and also towards improving the good governance. We read different reports. My message to the Council was that we have to be careful about what we say about Afghanistan. There is a media attention to Afghanistan, and I think there is a problem of perception. We read the reports that accuse one or another person of corruption, of being engaged in illegal activities or drug activities or other corrupt activities without proving it, without enable Afghan courts to deal with it. So we have to be a little bit careful when we base our judgment on Afghanistan on something that we can't. We have to investigate and look at it thoroughly. There is a corruption problem. And this is an issue not only for the government of Afghanistan, but also for the international community. This new reshuffle of the cabinet is aimed to deal with that issue. And there are a lot of other measures, like the creation of the Anti-Corruption Oversight Committee in Afghanistan, and also the creation of the special police and prosecutor offices dealing with the corruption. We are at the beginning of an action that we hope that will bring results. But we have to also bear in mind that corruption is not only a national issue in Afghanistan. This is an issue that the international community and Afghans have to look at it together.
Yes, my name is Nazira Azim Karimi, correspondent for Ariana Television from Afghanistan. Mr. Ambassador, can I ask my question in Dari, please?
Please.
مسیج شما شخصا از این جلسه چی بود و موثریتش برای افغانستان و با توجه به اینکه امروز جناب عبدالرحیم وردک وزیر دفاع افغانستان قلمداد کردن که گویا افغانستان در بدترین حالت خشونتبار در افغانستان از سال 2001 به این طرف قرار داره. این در اسپیچ تازه امروزش بود و همین جلسه از نظر شما چطور بود؟
May I answer to your question in Persian at the end, if I can? Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, please, about your statements inside about the negotiations with the Taliban? Can you update us where do these negotiations stand and whether it's possible to reach reconciliation with them in one way or the other to bring more peace to the country?
Not only myself, but other participants of the meeting paid attention to the issue of reconciliation. I think we know that there are elements amongst the Taliban that they would like to be part of a peace process in Afghanistan. We keep all doors open to those who are ready to be reconciled. There is no military solution in Afghanistan, but it is also wrong to think that there is only political solution. A combination of military and political solution is necessary to stabilize Afghanistan and to succeed in all efforts towards a stabilization of the country. We think that reconciliation with the Taliban is not an alternative to all our last 7 years' effort, but it is a strategy that helps us to stabilize the country. So I think regarding the recent reports about some sorts of talks, what we know is, and what we can say is, that we continue to negotiate with those elements that are ready to join the peace efforts and within Afghan constitution.
One of the things that Qaidi said in his remarks to the Security Council was that Afghans cannot expect a lull in the insurgency over the coming winter months, as has been the case in the past. That it's going to continue at a high level throughout the winter. What do you think about that? Is that likely? Do you understand why that might be the case?
You have to ask Kai, who is going to talk to you about his own view. But what I think, our assessment, the assessment of the Afghan government, is that the Taliban and Al-Qaeda, keeping in mind the elections in the United States and elections in Afghanistan, try to continue their efforts and their fight against us. They try to reinforce their attempts, and the aim is very clear. Their objective is how to weaken our resolve, not only the government of Afghanistan, but the resolve of the international community.
What do you think they have in mind in terms of the U.S. election influence on it?
The strategy of the Taliban is based for a long time on weakening the resolve of the international community. They know that the United States is the most important supporter of Afghanistan, either militarily or in the area of reconstruction and development. So I think part of this war of the Taliban is war of perception. And this war of perception, they would like to deal with the public opinion in the West and inside in this country. They, with spectacular attacks, they would like to give an impression that they are strong and the international community is not going to succeed in Afghanistan. This is a psychological war they pursue.
Do not rule out.
Sir, Gulbuddin Hekmatyar has put a condition for talks with Afghan government. This says all the international forces have to leave the country before they want to have any talk with Afghan government. Does the Afghan government will accept their conditions for any talks?
Who is Hekmatyar? I think as I said, we are ready to talk to those elements that are ready to join the peace process, not to those who want to continue to kill Afghan people and to continue their brutal acts of butchery and destruction against Afghanistan. So I think we are at a stage that not only the government of Afghanistan, but Afghan ulama, tribal leaders also are part of these efforts. That if extremists and terrorists would like to come with less than conditions, it's their position.
When you say we have to be careful what we say about Afghanistan, do you mean the press? Do you mean the UN and the reports that are done to the Security Council? There's some reports of UN maps that show how dangerous the country is being now withheld by the UN. Who are you referring to? But we have to be careful about what we say about Afghanistan.
we have a debate between us, between all elements of the international community who support Afghanistan. There are 62 countries that help us on the area of reconstruction, and there are 41 countries that are true contributors to Afghanistan. We read analysis, statements from different parts of the world, from the countries that are our friends. Their troops are there. They help with money and with involvement in the reconstruction projects and development projects in Afghanistan. So sometimes we read statements speaking about failure in Afghanistan, statements about not winning the war in Afghanistan. I think it's a wrong debate. What I asked from the Council, from all our friends and partners, that we have to focus on a right debate. The right debate is how to deal with the serious challenges we face. We are not here to tell the press how to report or not. But I think we can tell our friends and partners that how a wrong debate can affect the situation in Afghanistan.
No, Ambassador, in essence, you're not at this. Can we say that you do not rule out any talks with Taliban or any other insurgent elements who are willing to talk to the government at this time?
Why we shouldn't rule out? We the elements that would like to join the peace process, to be part of a stable Afghanistan, are welcomed in Afghanistan. And this is why, but at the same time, I think the international communities in Afghanistan to deal with the scourge of terrorism, to eliminate terrorist havens, to eliminate terrorists. Those who are terrorists and part of acts against peace, the peace in the region or the world, they are not seen as elements that are ready to join the peace process. Okay. May I talk to you in first? Yeah. وضعیت امنیتی در افغانستان طبعاً با چالش‌های بسیار جدی روبروست. در بحث امروز شورای امنیت توجه به این بود که ما چگونه با این چالش‌ها برخورد بکنیم. بعضی‌ها این بحث را مطرح می‌کنن که افغانستان در وضعیتی قرار داره که به طرف سقوط میره و یا اینکه جنگ افغانستان قابل برد نیست یا در جنگ افغانستان نمیشه پیروز شد. بحث ما در این جلسه امروز بود، پیام من این بود که یک بحث نادرست است. بحث درست این است که ما چگونه با مشکلات فعلی برخورد بکنیم. موضع جامعه بین‌المللی و تمام کسانی که در جلسه امروز شرکت داشتن هم این بود که امنیت باید در افغانستان تقویت شود، حکومت افغانستان باید تقویت شود، تعهد ما در افغانستان باید ادامه پیدا بکنه و ما باید کمک کنیم تا همه در افغانستان پیروز شیم و نه ای که ما برخی گزارش‌های منفی و با اتکا به برخی گزارش‌های منفی رابطه خود را با واقعیت افغانستان و با امید به پیروزی که کار مشترک ماست از دست بدیم. با این رابطه نداره، جدا صحبت می‌کنیم.
ولی و منظورگیری ایالات متحده آمریکا چی بود؟
ایالات متحده آمریکا و سایر اعضای شورای امنیت یک بار دیگه تاکید داشتن بر همبستگی با افغانستان، کمک به مردم افغانستان، کمک به حکومت افغانستان در جهت تقویت کمک‌های بشری پیش از زمستان، در جهت برگزاری